And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening on this special month as we're celebrating Women's Month yesterday on the 9th of August in South Africa. We have a special holiday on the 9th of August where we celebrate women. We celebrate our mothers, our sisters, our wives, our daughters, very important people in our lives. And the whole month of August is Women's Month. We are so happy that even ourselves as WILD, we are having our conference on the 25th and 26th of August, where we'll be tackling women in leadership. How wonderful it is to be assembled together again today as leaders, as scholars, to learn from each other. As we always say that we come here to learn, to unlearn, and to relearn. And as we always say that leadership, it's a journey. Leadership, it's not a destination. So we empower each other here. This is the community of leaders. This is a safe space where leaders talk to each other and where we correct one another, we encourage one another, and we empower one another. My name is Mazwe Majola. I'm from the Worldwide Institute of Leadership and Development. Thank you so much for joining in again tonight. A special welcome to our regulars, our members, men and women whom we meet every Wednesday, and we learn a lot from each other. They impart their wisdom and they share their knowledge, and we learn a lot from each other. Welcome to those who are joining us for the first time. If it's your very first time joining this platform, you are most welcome, and thank you so much for joining in. Please feel at home, and we'd like to hear from you. Do participate. Don't be shy. Don't be diffident. Don't hold back. Don't say, now this is my first time. I want to hear from others. We want to hear from you. There's a very good reason why we are here tonight, and we know that we're going to learn a lot from you. So please do feel free. As I'm saying, that this is a safe space for leaders. We have different scholars here from different universities. We have leaders, executives from all walks of life and professionals. So it's a wonderful time. Tonight we are dealing with a topic, women in mining, and this is a very important topic. Women in mining, and I'm so happy that we'll be discussing this topic. Really, as I've said, that having had our Women's Day yesterday, and we are dealing with this important topic. And then we are so grateful to be having our dear sister who will be tackling this topic, taking us through on the challenges, on the opportunities, on the dynamics of this sector. We had the president talking yesterday. I mean, what he was saying was just saying, I mean, all the praises about good policies that the government has put in place for women in business, or rather the creating an enabling environment for women to participate. So tonight we'll be hearing about this sector, about mining, especially women, as to what is going on there. And then we've got our dear sister. I'm going to introduce her, and then we'll welcome her, and then she will address us. As we all know, then we'll converse with her and also with each other. So we are having my dear sister tonight, Miss Tebogo Mosito, and thank you so much for joining us my sister, she was telling me that where she is, the network is not very good, and I said we'll pray that everything goes well, because we want to see her video as well, as we live streaming on our Facebook and also on our YouTube. So thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. So Tebogo is businesswoman, social entrepreneur, and a renowned global speaker. She is currently one of the directors of Women in Mining Business South Africa, and a CEO of Tebogo Engineering and Mining, which is 100% Black female-owned engineering and SMPP, structural, mechanical, piping, and platework business. Tebogo has won some exclusive awards, including Top 100 Global Inspirational Women in Mining by Women in Mining UK and Standard Bank Top Women finalist for fast-growing female-owned business. She's also a regular speaker at the Dubai Mining Show and panelist at the United Nations UN Share Fair on Gender Equality in the extravagance industry. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Tebogo, who's going to take us through tonight. Tebogo, thank you so much, my sister. Thank you so much for availing yourself. I know that you are a very busy person, traveling, but the fact that you put some time to really just come and mingle with these wonderful, great leaders and scholars in this platform, and also to share your insights. We are so looking forward to hearing from you. So thank you so much, Masita. Thank you so much for your humility, and we salute you for the great work that you have done in this space. You really have shown that it is doable and encouraged and inspired many of our sisters as well, and also encouraged us, not only our sisters, even us, for the good work or the great work that we've been doing there. So thank you so much, my sister. Over to you. Would like to hear from you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you for inviting me. It's the first time I'll be speaking on this platform. So I'm also here to learn. And I hope, I will get the right questions, after my presentation. I just want to talk about women in mining in general, the challenges, why we don't see a lot of women coming in the industry. First of all, I myself come from a rural village. We are surrounded by the platinum mines. But as you said, yesterday we were celebrating Women's Day, and I could listen to the president, talking about why we don't see many women. We are still faced with a lot of societal challenges as women. Some of the women who are staying in a rural village where they are surrounded by mining communities, they don't know where to find the opportunities, because as women, lately, we don't share enough information. So today, for me, I want to encourage a lot of women, when you know women, so that they can also tap into, the industry. There's so many opportunities in mining. Firstly, as women, we lack support. That is why you don't see a lot of women coming on board. Previously, women used to have organizations. I can give an example of back in the days in 1912, 1913, there was Bantu Women's League, because there were women who wanted to be on the political space, but they were not allowed, to participate there. So currently in the mining sector, a lot of women are becoming employees, and we don't see a lot of women who are supplying the mines with, the services, because they don't know the supply value chain. Hence, we started, Wimbase South Africa. because as one of the director of Women in Mining in South Africa, we want to encourage and amplify voices of African women entrepreneurs to say, here are opportunities, and why are you not, grabbing the opportunities? Is because maybe you don't understand the compliance required there. So as an organization of WIMBIS, we assist women, to enter this mining sector by giving them access to opportunities, access to information, even having strategic partnerships with the mining companies to say, maybe some of the women, they need training. You saw during COVID, a lot of companies, they went through e-commerce trading, and a lot of our rural women don't have access to internet. They don't have access to resources where they can also compete fairly in the market. So as women, we need to form, strategic alliances where we help each other. I personally am very passionate about, empowering other women. And I believe that gone are the days where you have to be the only woman in the steel engineering sector, because when you are the only person, then it becomes very difficult, unless when you are a group, then the mine can say, let us give you a big opportunity. But as women also, we are still faced with a lot of challenges in terms of accessing funding. We don't have collateral, And sometimes as women, especially women, I'm going to focus more on women from rural villages, because that is where mining opportunities are. And we don't see them, coming and taking up these opportunities, mainly because they feel they don't have access to finance. They don't have access to technical skills. So as one of the directors of WIMBIS, we try to match these women with big experienced companies so that we can see more women in the space. We approach OEMs of the mines to say, can you teach us about these supply value chains? We partner and we host workshops with the Department of Minerals and Energy so that we can understand what are the core opportunities in mining, so that we don't only see women who are cleaners and caterers, so that we can see women who are also mining, drilling, and blasting. But because women don't get to hear about these opportunities, then it becomes difficult, to see more women tapping in the space. So for me, I believe, even platforms like this, where you are hosting this leadership session or networking session, then we can share information and we can see more women tapping into the space. Currently, I'm running a company that is doing steel engineering services. It's very difficult, when you approach mining companies. First of all, my background is human resource management, and they will ask me, do you have experience in engineering? Are you a qualified engineer? But you find that as women, we can develop passion in different industries, and we can hire people. As women, we can lead, create opportunities for people who can manage our businesses while, we open up for other women to also come on board. So it's very challenging. I must say the journey has been tough for me, because there's no support. The support is there, but it's difficult when you don't meet all the regulatory requirements. Like, for example, as a woman like myself, if I want to start doing plant maintenance and repairing pumps and motors from the mining companies, I need to have OEM agreements, in order to do any repairs. But it's difficult when you are an emerging female entrepreneur, to have things like, I can give an example. You need to have performance guarantees, and most of the mining companies, they pay us within 60 days. So you need to have a positive cash flow for you to run businesses. And I think that is why we don't see many women tapping into this, high capital intensive industries. But today I'm here to say, women come, there's opportunities, and we have organizations like WIMBIS where we can, create a platform where you can learn, network with the relevant stakeholders, and where you can, just learn and improve your skills, and also, get access to opportunities which could have been difficult when you were on your own. Thank you.
Wow, thank you. Thanks, Tebogo. Straight to the point. Thank you very much. There are opportunities, but also there are constraints, there are challenges. But as Tebogo is saying, they are not insurmountable. If you have a will, if you have passion, if you have vision, there are already structures, organizations that can assist you to start businesses. So how wonderful it is to have people who are there already, who are able to assist others. And what you said, very important, support structures, creating those strategic alliances, very, very important, that women must support each other, but also by sharing information. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Tebogo. Let's hear some comments, some observations, and some some questions. Already there in the chat room, my brother, the Einstein Camp, says, Sister Tebogo, he says, good evening, everyone. I'm based in Kimberley, that is in Northern Cape Province, with a number of mining companies. But I've noticed that women are not part of the mainstream of the mining value chain that is in Kimberley. What would you say? Are you still there, Tebogo?
Hello?
Yes. The question from Ian in Kimberley, that is saying there's so many mines, but women are not on the mainstream. He was just saying that, that what he has observed. Is any maybe thing that you know that it's maybe preventing women there in Kimberley to be involved in mining?
I think one of the serious challenges that women are facing, in those areas, is for example, minor things like lack of transport. You find the mines are located far from the village. So if you don't have a vehicle to drive to the mine, then it becomes difficult. And another thing is, when you go to the mine, you need to know who are you going to see. So at some point, it's very difficult if you don't network a lot and you don't know who you are going to see at the mine, then it becomes difficult. Then we have another problem, especially in our provinces, whereby a woman like myself, I will go to the Northern Cape in Kimberley because I know that I have a business that has a track record and I'm capable of delivering a service to the mine. But because I'm not from the host community area, then I will be restricted from doing business there. So it's either you need to partner with another woman from the same community where they will be able to give you opportunity. But most of the time you find women who are not really pushing for those businesses, like being resilient. You find women who just want to supply. They don't want to go into the technical, space of mining. But also, I think the other problem is most of the mining companies, they do assist us as women, providing enterprise supply development programs. But like myself, I've been through numerous enterprise development programs. But now the challenge is if you don't have resources, then it becomes difficult. They need to then invest in giving us resources. Like if a woman wants to do mining, then support them to get the equipment, open doors. Maybe a woman just need a laptop and, just getting free access to internet in order to do business. So the mine, they must also assist women like that. I think those are the challenges that I've noticed myself. But as women, We need to start building resilient businesses, sustainable businesses. And also the mining companies should give us long-term contracts, because there's no use of getting one purchase order today and then tomorrow you don't get a purchase order, but you are expected to rent an industrial premises, you are expected to hire people full-time, but yet you don't make enough to sustain that business. So mining companies, they also need to be, show that they want to support. They need to give women long-term projects. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you very much. I see another question there from my brother. Sam Tima, would you like to express yourself then?
Yes, Prof. Thank you very much for bringing Tebogo to talk to us about this important sector of our economy. Of course, specifically focusing on women. I have a question for Tebogo in terms of the feeder into mining entrepreneurship. Again, here we're talking from the point of view of women who are running their business in the mining sector, but I'm very much interested to know if they are involved in the bigger guys, are there women in the establishing mining houses at the coal face that we can look at as a future potential entrepreneurs? I can imagine how difficult it is to enter into the sector as a woman entrepreneur, having not worked in the sector, how difficult, but I can see also that there should be opportunities where you nurture women professionals in these mining houses so that in future they can emerge as entrepreneurs and understanding the dynamics and the complexities. And now I'm talking from, I want you to address it from the point of view of women in mining association or organization. Before even we can talk about entrepreneurship side, because you should be interested in the pipeline of women, because if you don't do that, then you will always have this challenge of being new into the sector as an entrepreneur. I wonder if, I hope I'm making my question clear for you, Sister Tebogo.
Yeah. Okay, there is an organization called WIMSA, Women in Mining South Africa, that deals with women, employees, and there's a lot of careers in mining, and they do a lot of mentorship and coaching so that we can see female leaders, growing through the ranks within the mining sector. But for me personally, my passion is entrepreneurship. I've always been an entrepreneur, and I've seen a lot of lucrative opportunities in the mining supply value chain, whereby when you are an employee, then your mindset is limited. Entrepreneurs are people who are able to take risks, and sometimes we work long hours, and we find solutions to problems, and I believe if women want to grow, their careers in mind, then they should also join WIMSA, where they can get, mentorship and coaching from there.
Sorry, Prof, I'm not trying to move you away from the entrepreneurship side. I'm actually supporting that, but I'm saying, as an entrepreneur, you probably want to source the expertise from somewhere to sustain your business, because you need people to support you. So therefore, I will imagine that it's of interest for you to know that there are professionals in mining that will come over to you to help you deal with those complexities.
Yes.
That's really the angle I'm coming from.
Okay, yeah, I do understand. And also as a female entrepreneur who don't have, quite a lot of extensive technical skills, I do get support from other, mining professionals and people who've been in the industry for long. I myself do have mentors who are assisting me, in order to understand the industry. And there's quite a lot of organizations out there who are really supporting women to understand the industry. The challenge is sometimes societal challenges. ever since I've been in this industry, you know, as women, I'll give you an example again, why we don't see a lot of women, you know, growing, you know, through the ranks and being able to stay on top is because we have so many responsibilities at home as women. And sometimes, you know, our culture doesn't allow us to do things as men are doing. For example, going out, networking, going to golf days, you know, staying up till late, you know, learning about this industry. So a lot of opportunities and meetings are happening after hours. So women end up giving up on opportunities because they want to go home and take care of other opportunities at home, other responsibilities at home. So even in their careers, a lot of men, or let's say a girl child, you know, they don't get the great support that other male counterparts are getting, because as women, we are always restricted and limited in terms of participating in these opportunities.
Thank you. Thanks, Tebogo. Thank you very much. Any other thoughts, ladies and gentlemen? Opportunities, challenges, dynamics, the supporting. Whenever we deal with this issue about women in business or women in leadership or women, there'll always be that thing that women don't seem to be supporting each other, you know, and I'm so glad that we are going to the conference, and I'm sure that these will be issues that will be tackled, but obviously this is a build up to our conference in terms of just getting these dynamics and challenges as to what is happening. Other people talking about first time when I had this, the PhD, and I thought the PhD that we have, and someone said no, not that one, but the pull head down, not the academic one. So it's it'll be very interesting to hear about that. But let me recognize my leader there, Dr. Potelwa. Over to you, leadership.
Thank you very much, Prof. I greet our presenter today with a profound presentation, and I would like to say Happy Women's Month. I don't want to say happy belated Women's Day, Happy Women's Month.
Thank you.
We so wish that women representation can continue more, especially in a challenge of mining and energy sector. I was intrigued that today when I bought a newspaper that we still have a challenge and a gap of women in leadership, more especially in mining and energy firms in Africa across. Now, this article is stating a very categorical statistics that align to our constitution in South Africa. I think the speaker would agree with me that we should not amend our constitution based on land only, the inequality. There are clauses that are biased, suppress the women in leadership in particular. And also in these firms that were in crisis today of energy and mining. You will recall that we cannot have energy without mines. So if the leadership is absent on those mining or those energy sectors, I think now they've been suppressed or they've been disadvantaged for a number of years. Knowing vividly that even the institution of International Finance Corporation, they recognize the intelligence of women that should now grab in on those bases of those challenges. And also mostly, indeed, based on our culture, we grew up in the culture of conformity against women so that they will be able to cooperate even if something is not conducive for them to cooperate. But we're missing the key decision and their contribution that in citing example, in the kitchen, when there is no electricity, it's them who get frustrated first. But when we are making the decision on these firms, they are absent. So we should be able to understand and put them in a strategic decision. How can they resolve this? So for me to land, Prof, I want to say to our speaker and other females on those levels, not to surrender, but to soldier on. Because it's mostly on the culture, at them who are affected mostly. Thank you very much, Prof. Well done, my sister. Keep soldiering on. I was just highlighting that comment. I don't have a question for you.
Thank you. Thanks, Dr. Potelo there. Thanks. And I recognize Dr. Chumamangisa and Ntomfuta. But before I come to you, colleagues, I think I would like to, there is a comment there from Audrey. Audrey, I would like to hear from you, if you don't mind, to express yourself there from the chat room. It seems like there's some experience that you have there that you'd like to run through Tebogo. Audrey?
Thank you very much, Prof, and good evening to everyone. Prof, you know, it's such a challenge for us to get through the mining houses, because there are times where I would go through to different mining houses, and when I'm presenting myself to get an opportunity within mines, some of the mining houses, they will tell us that we do have reputable service providers who are contracted to them for 10 years. And I remember there was a time where I even told them that, no, I just needed 2% of their procurement spend so that I can be able to prove myself. And I've been taken from pillar to post, I end up not knowing what to do, because it tends to be very frustrating to say that there are opportunities out there, but when we're supposed to go and get those opportunities, we are sidelined out of the value system, and then you end up not knowing what to do. So that is the frustration that we're sitting with.
Thanks, Sis Audrey. Thank you very much. Tebogo, would you like to respond to that before we take the next round of question?
Okay. Yeah, I would say, you know, I believe, especially because I attend a lot of mining conferences, including the Mining in Daba, where we meet with the CEOs who understand, you know, meeting the mining charter requirements. But then when we go to the mines, we meet people who are not willing to open doors for us. And I've also experienced a lot of toxic leaders. You know, some are women who would not open doors for us. And we just need to learn how to manage those hostile environments and keep pushing until we get opportunities. You know, like the previous speaker was saying, you know, I believe women were the first people who started businesses. You know, when back in the days, the husband went to work in the mines, women started informal businesses, you know, started selling food, you know, next to the mines and all that. But then it's difficult for a female to get access to funding. For example, even if you have a purchase order today, it takes about 6 to 8 months, you know, for you to get an approval. But then the mine wants you to deliver within 2 to 3 weeks. Then that pressure also limits women from getting opportunities. It's not like we can't deliver or we can't compete fail in the market. There's quite a lot of pressure, you know, for women to, you know, to raise funds as quickly as possible, whereas we don't have any collateral or track record. Every time you apply for an opportunity, they want to see your track record. If you don't have a track record, then it becomes really difficult. Then you end up just being a subcontractor or joint venturing with other businesses who then also don't pay you on time. Then it becomes difficult for women companies to grow. Thank you.
Perfect. Thanks, Audrey, and thanks, Tebogo. Now we'll take Dr. Mangisa, and he'll be followed by Sister Mfuti. Over to you, Doc.
Yes, thank you very much. Sorry. Thank you very much, Prof Majola, and thank you, Sister Tebogo. And happy Women's Month as well. I don't want to say that after the month of August. And also thank you, you know, for sharing us that which you believe are some of the challenges that women in particular are encountering within the mining industry. But it's not a surprise. It's not a surprise for me that you are encountering these barriers. I have just been looking at the Mining Council of South Africa in as far as its gender, gender representation. It's a shame that in their board, you have 3 males and 1 female in their board. Then you have representatives who are part, of the council. Out of 29 of those representatives or council members, you have 25 men and only 4 females. And if you look at the executives of the Mining Council of South Africa, you have 5 men and no women at all. So for me, it is not a surprise that indeed there are such challenges that women are encountering within the mining sector. But what I wanted to check with you, Sister Tebogo, because this mining council, I would believe that they have a responsibility to make sure that this mining sector, it is representative of females in particular in their numbers, not only in terms of the physiology, but also in terms of them given space to make significance in this industry. I wonder therefore if you have approached them and relate your challenges as women to them, and if you have, what has been their response to the challenges particularly that are faced by women. Thank you very much.
Sister Tebogo, do you want to respond, or should we take another question? Do you prefer to respond now to this question, or should we take
another question?
Another one. Thanks, sis. Thank you. Sister Mfuti.
Greetings, everyone. I'm Tombi. I'm based in Mpumalanga and next to Witbank. We also have mines around. So normally I attend business meetings, and currently we've been working on developing policies for women in the province so that there's equal participation for women within different industries, and mining is one sector that we realize there's a lot of threats in the mining sector. So my question to Sister Tebogo, how does she deal with the hostility from male counterparts within the sector, threats when they received or been awarded a particular offer to purchase, things like that. So how do you deal with the security issues? And secondly, there's a lot of unemployment, and what I've realized is that when it comes to young people, most mines, so as a woman leadership, what has been your experience? And do you think there is space for people with the security issue being a concern? And normally also when it comes to employment for young
It seems like we are losing Mfuti there, but I think you've got the gist of her question, Sister Tebogo.
Boys are normally considered for most posts and legal out. Yes, also. Yes, yeah, did you?
Mfuti, your network says your network. I think we've had some of the question. Over to you, Sister Tebogo.
Hello.
Yes, I was just saying that sis, we seem to be breaking there, and then the network is not good, but we've heard you. I think Sister Tebogo heard you, my sister. Over to you, Tebogo.
I think to answer the first question, yes, we have engaged with the Mineral Council, and we are engaging with other, mining, organizations. But for me, the challenge is that we host a lot of women conferences where we speak amongst each other as women. We need to have at least majority of the men come into these conferences so that we tackle these problems together. Because when those men go to sit in the board, they discuss issues which they are not even aware that, we are not happy with those policies and so forth. So we need to now start having this engagement where there's 50% women, 50% men in those conferences, so that we can be able to solve the challenges that we are having. So at the moment, I really don't know how long it's going to take for us to resolve these issues, but we do have a challenge, and we need our voice to be heard. That is why even now I'm saying, I know there's only 2% of women who are really benefiting from the mining supply value chain. 90% is still male companies, not because women can't deliver, but because our voices are not heard. So we need to have a platform where our voices can be heard, and also not be afraid to raise our voice. For example, I think it's Ntombifuthi. I don't know what to say to you, but the challenges are real. I've faced a lot of challenges myself, whereby I've seen in some of the mining houses where my company has got the experience and the track record, but somebody who is a friend of the other person will get the job. So it happens in mines that there's quite a lot of, corruption going on, and we have to keep quiet. But if you are passionate about what you're doing and you know what you are doing, then you keep on fighting until you get those opportunities. Sometimes you go to the mines like myself and they derail you. They tell you, no, you can't do engineering. Why don't you do change house management? So you keep on pushing and telling them that, no, I can do these things, until they give you an opportunity. So many times as women, we end up giving up on our dreams, because we listen to the negative voices to say, you can't do this, it's not good enough for you. I think I've answered you well, but Prof, after this, if maybe Ntombifuthi or other women, you can share my email address and we can see how we can, support each other and mentor each other, even beyond this topic for today.
Thanks, Tebogo. I think I've seen your what contact details shared already in the chat room. Thank you so much for that. Just before I take Mpumelelo, you've said something very, very poignant and very touching to me, because what we are saying is that it seems like you are preaching to the converted. You call the conferences, you call these engagements, it's only women that attend there.
Yes.
And
yes.
and this is very, very important to me. And I hope my colleagues, they hear this, so that we really try to, even as Wild, because obviously we've taken this program, Women in Leadership, as one of our flagship program, to say that even in this conference, can we have, no, it's not just a women's conference. Yes, it's a Women in Leadership conference, but we need men there so that they hear what are the dynamics and what are the challenges of women, so that we can assist them. We must be the one who must be the forefront, fighting for them, or rather on their behalf, about these challenges. You know, we started talking about these equal work, equal pay from our last year's conference. And actually in that conference, that is when one of the recommendations was that we must organize Women in Leadership Conference. That is why this year we are having this conference. And actually that is why we've even written a book, and I'm glad to say that the book is ready now. It's here. Women in Leadership, the copies are here, and please do order the books and do register for the conference so that we go there and then we tackle these issues and we emerge with practical recommendation so that as well we can take them or rather forward and make sure that we fight. You know, we are sick and tired of our sisters and our wives and our daughters and our mothers fighting alone, and we are going out there playing golf and doing other stuff. So let us take this forward. So I'm so sorry about that. Obviously, I want to give more colleagues time. It's just that when we met to that point, I was so touched that it seems like we are really fighting this battle alone when we are here to assist you. And I would like to hear my colleagues there. There's Prof Zide there, obviously others have spoken to say really we need to assist in this regard. Prof Zide, I see your hand, and then we will come to you, Mpumelelo, with recognize you. Prof Zide.
Okay, thank you very much, my professor. Can you hear me? Am I audible? Okay. Sister, thank you very much for a very brief but to the point presentation. I think that you have indeed opened our eyes to an industry that has always been considered to be a male industry. But you coming on board and you being a CEO and opening our eyes, I think that is very, very poignant, as my professor has said. But the most important thing for me that I would really like to check with you, it is good to talk about women empowerment, particularly in urban areas. But I would like to know what the mining industry has in mind for women in the rural areas, you know, of deep KZN, deep former Transkei, and deep Limpopo, and you know, and Mpumalanga. Because as one drives around in urban areas, one would say maybe there is some element of development, but one cries very hard when it comes to women in the rural areas. What kind of suggestions and proposals can the mining industry consider for women in the rural areas? Thank you very much, Professor.
Thanks, Prof. Thank you very much. Sister, let's take Mpumelelo, then you can respond to them. Mpumelelo, sorry, so keeping you waiting, but definitely we will give you the opportunity. Over to you.
No, thank you, Prof. My contribution will be along the lines of Usisi came in and said, in terms of the opportunities, I don't see the big guys that actually do provide the opportunities for them. They've got the necessary skills, but I don't see the big guys in terms of, I will not mention names, being here on this forum to say we are willing to support women in mining. And that is a worrying issue in terms of that. And in terms of that as well, that this must not be seen as a CSI issue. To say you here as a CSI issue will give you that 1%. You did say they get a small percentage of what is there in the mining industry, which is very worrying. So in terms of that, that's what I just wanted to raise, that we should be raising that bar. I know that I've been in mining before. I know what women engineers, women whatever in mining, they go underground in what they can provide. I think they are being shortchanged. And I think this platform, the people that should be here and really supporting this platform are not on this platform. And it seems like a CSI platform. And that's my contribution. Thank you, Prof.
Over to you, Tebogo.
I think to answer Pumelelo, and on the 25-26, Prof, you are hosting an event where you have invited most of these big leaders in the mining space. But again, like he's saying, one of the biggest challenges accessing those big opportunities. We always get the low-hanging fruits because they say we don't have a track record, and women are, it's very risky to do business with a woman. Even to employ a woman, they say you employ a woman today in mining, tomorrow she wants to apply for maternity leave because she's pregnant. That's why we don't want to hire women. So I think we need to also try and be flexible in terms of creating opportunities for women. And those rural women in KZN, Eastern Cape, rural Limpopo, what the mine should do to start with is training and development. And when you train those women, you must create an enabling environment for them to thrive, not only to do small piecework. So again, give them resources, capacitate them, even giving them the space where they can do this business. Because first of all, you can't expect a woman from a rural village to have all these facilities, without giving them a sustainable job. So it is quite difficult. The other lady was saying it's true, as women leaders, when you go on top, you don't want to bring other women up. That pull head drown syndrome, it's happening, it's real. And I really wish when we come to your conference on the 25th and the 26th, after having an engagement with them, they can then open doors for us and they can fight for us to really grow within the industry. Many times you find women leaders who are not even willing to approve leave for these other young females who wants to learn and grow. So it then becomes difficult for them to attend conferences or to go and network with other women or other men. In my space, most of the opportunities, I must give the men credit. I got them from male mentors and other people who were willing to open doors for me, because a lot of women would shut the doors on me to say, why don't you do these things which are soft skills, whereas I wanted to do the engineering ones. So I've always wanted to learn. It takes a lot of, guts to be in the mining space. Sometimes you end up losing friends, family, because you have to, learn a lot in this, short space of time, because you want to show people that you are capable, you can run a professional business. And you end up sometimes losing a lot of money because you need to invest in latest technology. So as women, we are really behind. We need men to sponsor us, mentor us, create opportunities for us to also be empowered, technologically and, in every space of life. And for those women who are even, married, when you get home, you want to learn, you want to study, and you are not allowed to even study, then it becomes difficult. So I think we need to change the mindset and encourage each other so that we can see more women in the space. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you very much, Sister Tebogo. There in the chat room, my sister and my colleague there, Dr. Mvusi Songelen, I'm so grateful that she managed to join us, because currently she's at the University of University of Connecticut, sorry, in USA. That is where she is now. So she's even saying The line is not okay, but there's got two questions for you. One, kindly share the strategies she has used to maneuver, negotiate, and sometimes strategically manipulate the system and the people to be where she is the power within that women use and possess, often not talked about. And two, are there young women whom she is supporting or mentoring herself to ensure that they don't go through the same? And that is from Dr. Songelwa, as I'm saying that. Did you get to those questions, Tebogo?
Yes.
Yeah.
So for me, one of the strategies is networking, you know, the power of networking. If you don't network, you will never, I've heard people say your circle must be small. How can your circle be small when you are still small yourself? You need to grow, go out, meet the right people, meet successful people that you want, to learn from, and don't be afraid to ask for help. I know a lot of women are afraid to ask for help. So I've got this personality where everywhere I go, I'm able to network and link up with the right people, and collaborating with companies that have been in the industry so that we minimize the risks and they can help you also. We share the resources and so forth. It helped me a lot in growing my business because sometimes I wouldn't need the funding because I had collaborated with other big companies who had the resources to help me grow my business. And in terms of mentorship and coaching, I have quite a lot of young people that I've mentored, even older women. I'm running a foundation called Tebogo Foundation. So I do host workshops and events where I invite relevant stakeholders so that they can share, opportunities and do business linkages. So I am doing quite a lot. If you follow my social media pages, every time I get to hear about opportunities, I always share with other women. And yeah, for me, the strategy is to network, ask for help, collaborate with other people. And when you are as a woman, when you are on the internet, research, there's quite a lot of information out there. Opportunities are always there. It's just that as women, sometimes we don't take up these opportunities. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thanks, Sister Tebogo. And the fact that you're even really sharing your contact details, that please contact me, let's talk, let's support each other, let's assist each other. That speaks a volume of a person of your caliber and character. And we so wish to have so many leaders, in particular women, as we are talking about the PhD syndrome that's prevailing amongst our women. That should be, as we are talking about breaking the glass ceiling, we must also talking about that breaking this PhD syndrome. That when someone it's up there, things or feels that it's her own work.
Yes.
There was no support, and that's exactly leadership in general. That when we're saying that this thing that the higher you go is the lonely it becomes, then it has been proven that maybe it's because we are flying alone going up there, or once you are up there you forget who assisted you to hold that ladder for you. Or they had that ladder for you, you went up with the steps, once you are up there and then you kick the ladder out. So now you are floating alone because now you didn't recognize the people who assisted you to go up. So there's a leadership principle that great leaders, they support others. You don't go alone up. because definitely it's cold up there. It's freezing, and you'll feel it. So, I mean, even for women, it's something that they must really understand. We must assist, as we are saying, that going to the conference, thing that should be talked about, or how to break this PhD syndrome. So thank you very much. I don't know if there's anyone, and I'm so happy that—
I think,
go ahead.
Sorry about that, Prof. Just to add to what you were saying, as women also, we need to be resilient, be consistent and maintain our professionalism at all times, because sometimes, we want to prove that we can be men, and just remain, the way you are, be humble at all times and be willing to learn. Sometimes we feel like we know everything. You must be willing to learn in order to grow as a woman. I know I could have left the industry many years ago when people even thought I was fronting. Some of these mining companies did some forensic audit on me to say, why are you hell-bent on being an engineering, fabrication and everything? I said, no, because it's the industry that I fell in love with, and I researched, and I know there are not many women in it, and I'm willing to learn. And some of the policies we can't change as women. We just need to learn, empower ourselves, make sure we comply with some of the policies, So at the moment, I'm at the stage where most of the companies are now saying, are you ISO 9001 certified? I used to say, no, there are not many SMEs who are ISO 9001, but I've done the training, I went to government, I asked for help, CEDA assisted me, other institutions, SABS assisted me. So we've done the training. Now, when I have that ISO 9001, I'm going to ask the mining companies, what next? Like, why are you now not giving me the big opportunities? Because I've really shown you, through my track record that I'm resilient and I'm able to persevere and I'm able to perform in this industry. So as women, we need to be consistent and show, these companies that we can do it. And hopefully one day they will open opportunities. Thank you.
Thanks, Sister Tebogo. I see that Ivan, would you like to share some thoughts there? Because really, seems like you understand the mining industry as well, and obviously I've seen someone asking you for your contact details as well. Ivan is our regular here, as a member here. He's always with us on Wednesdays. And over to you, my brother.
No, thanks very much, Prof, and thanks, colleagues. Good evening, and also good for the women. May this be a blessed month for them, and I enjoy really the discussions. Yeah, Prof, and then also to Sis Tebogo. I've spent some time in those areas of working in the mines, consulting for them as well. And I can tell you that there's quite a lot of challenges with supplier development, with enterprise development. And one of the big corporates there, I'm taking it way back 2016, 17. I said to them, because there was an uproar from the community, especially women not getting opportunities, that they should just open up the supply chain. I said to them, you don't need to put the figures next to the items, but open up the supply chain so that people are either ready to take up the opportunities tomorrow, or they can prepare themselves for what is coming in the future. From nuts and bolts to the whole dump trucks issues, the big corporates, the subcontractors that came into the mine. Because what happens in Northern Cape, we have the whole influx from mainly companies coming from the north, the linkage from the Rustenburg, Mpumalanga, Limpopo mining areas, and that whole influx. So I've really lobbied those mines, and it happened when the first mine got into the next mine, opened up that opportunity. I left it there around 2017, 2018, and I said, okay, this is how far you've got now. The critical part for women there is, there is still this whole stereotypes within the mining sector that women cannot do it. Sister Tebogo was right. They fall pregnant and then they cannot be on the plant. But if you look at the track record, for instance, of safety on the mine, and you isolate the men from the women, you can see the compliance in terms of safety are more swayed towards the women. Women know how to behave on a mining plant. I've seen that, and the statistics have shown it. But it also means, and I've said it now on my note here, it also means women must now take on those big opportunities. We have just now, the Premier has a plant of what, 9-10 billion rand, one of the biggest solar plants in the province. It's part of that industry. The Vedanta mine is there, is a Gamsberg mine. They're going into their second phase now. I got an invitation to go and speak to them. So what I'm saying is, as we go along into the future, these opportunities will still open. Like what Sister Tebogo says, we need to be resilient as women. We need to take that opportunity, be professional, get all your ducks in order. When we start talking these right languages, making the right sounds, it is where these minds are taking us seriously. Because as much as you're saying you're from outside, they are saying, bring us the women. Bring these women together that can work together. And then we will be able to give them the 50 million rand contract instead of just asking them to supply us with water tomorrow and to clean our offices. I said to them, that is not real empowerment. We can't just have our women getting the cleaning contracts and to run the canteen. That is not real empowerment. I said our women should be the ones that will be able to run this plant and show that they can run. And some women got into it. Now they can, start owning some of the trucks that are running here on our Northern Cape roads and even, going to other provinces. So I'm saying, Prof, colleagues, there's a lot of opportunities. Women must just be ready to take that opportunities. And if you ask me, I think this is the perfect time to do that. And the Northern Cape has a lot of mines. And we wouldn't have the capacity and skills to cover them all. Women must just position themselves to take these opportunities, because this is the noise that our government is making, our president is making. We must be ready. Opportunities sometimes just knock once. Thanks, Prof. Thanks, colleagues.
Thanks, my brother. Thank you so much. I'm hope obvious the network will be capitalized, and Sister Tebogo and others to assist, and Brother Ivan is there to assist where possible. And thank you so much. That's why we're here. I mean, because really we need to learn from each other, to network, to support each other. But thanks for that information, Ivan. Sister Tebogo, I would like you to now to give us your closing remarks, your parting shots, and after that, I'll close the session. Over to you, sis.
Just in closing, I actually enjoyed what Ivan was saying. By the way, Ivan, I've driven like 10 hours to Vedanta mine, and one of the challenges for me was safety of women. The reason why women contractors are not tapping into some of these industries is because the mining companies themselves, they don't invest in the psychological and emotional safety of women. It's far away, there's no network. Sometimes you're driving alone a long distance and you end up giving up as a woman. So I think as the mining community, we need to invest in emotional and psychological safety of women to create an enabling environment so that we see more women tapping in. You see, there's a lot of, harassment in the mines, whether you are a female contractor
absolutely.
or you are an employee. Somebody would say to me, before I can help you get this tender, can we meet at a lodge, or can we, meet somewhere? Then you end up running away from opportunities because there's nobody willing to hold your hand. So let's hold each other's hand and, help each other to navigate through the industry. But thank you so much for inviting me. And I hope after today, more women will be willing to network and ask the relevant questions and never be afraid to fight for their rights. The president has spoken, the opportunities are there. Let us build resilient businesses, lucrative businesses. You know, we are tired of fighting for, 1 million tender where, they invite 100 SMEs to tender for 1 million rand tender. And then there's this 3 billion tender where only 3 people are invited. So as women, if we collaborate and we form joint ventures and we become, a big group of women that can go to the man to say, we can do this 1 billion tender, I'm sure the mans will give us opportunities. Thank you.
Wow, thank you. Thanks, Tebogo. Thank you so much. And I like what you're saying, that as we're going to conference, really these are such practical things that we need to take there so that we emerge with good recommendations there that will assist women in leadership and in business. So thank you so much for your availability. Thank you so much for your presentation. Very insightful, very encouraging, poignant, and illuminating. You know, there are certain things that you've said tonight that we were not aware of that really assisted us. So thank you so much for being there. Ladies and gentlemen, the conference is on the 25th and 26th. If there is any one of you who's here tonight and we are not yet registered, that's a huge crime. This is a huge crime. You are a criminal. We must call Peggy Taylor to arrest you. That how on earth you do that? We need people like you, as you can hear what we are discussing here, that really we need your insights, we need your ideas, so that we can engage our government and our stakeholders. They are ready, they want our recommendations, they want to hear from us what transpired in the conference so that we can take these recommendations to them. So we need your insights, we need your ideas so that we can take this fight forward. So please, I'll ask you to register. It's very important to register because there's some security accesses there, so they need that registration so for you to access or to enter the venue. So please do that. And also, as I've said, the book is there. It's 350 a copy. If you want it to be couriered to you, for 450, including courier services. Why don't you just order it so that by the time you go to the conference, you've read it, you familiarize yourself with some of the issues that are raised in the book. Of course, yes, it will be sold there, but you don't have to wait. If you are able to order now, I'll really encourage you that you do that, so that you go there, you have it in your hand, and then it will be a signed copy as well. Please do join our YouTube channel so that you can access these videos. This video tonight will be posted there. It's Prof Mazwe Majola. It's a YouTube channel that is our YouTube channel. YouTube channel, Prof Mazwe Majola. And please do subscribe so that you can get notifications for other new materials there. So you'll find all sorts of videos there. Tonight's one and the previous one, we have created a library so that now and then you can go back and remind yourself, or rather refresh of what was discussed. Thank you so much to everyone, especially to our regulars and our members, and again many thanks to those who have joined us or who are joining us for the first time. Please do join us again next week, Wednesday. We meet every Wednesdays. It's a community of leaders. We encourage each other. We correct each other. We admonish each other. We we learn from each other. We empower each other. That is why we are here every Wednesday. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. The session is adjourned now. We'll meet again next week, Wednesday. God bless you and goodbye. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Prof, you forgot to take a picture today.
Yes. We'll do that next time, Ivan. Unless you want to do it.
No problem.
You want to do it? Oh, okay.
No problem. Thanks, Prof.
But at least definitely the material, the video will be there in our channel. So please, everyone, do visit our channel and subscribe. Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.